You felt it before, that quiet, persistent echo in your life, a pattern you thought you left behind in another year, another relationship, or another city. Yet, here it is again. The same kind of challenge, the same kind of person, the same precise feeling of needing to learn a truth you are certain you already know. What if this repetition isn't an accident of fate or a flaw in your human programming, but a perfect design? What if the same lessons keep appearing because the deeper archive of your soul has not yet filed that chapter as complete? We carry within us a vast library of experiences, a soul memory stretching not just decades but millennia. Dolores Cannon, through her decades of work in deep hypnosis, gave us the direct key to these archives. She was given access to the subconscious mind, what she termed the SC, the highest, most knowledgeable part of ourselves. And what the SC consistently revealed was a stunning truth. We are not victims of repetition. We are the architects of it. We are the ones deep within, selecting the classroom, the curriculum, and the exact moment the test will reappear. Imagine the vastness of your existence, not as a straight line, but as a spiral. Each turn of the spiral seems familiar. It feels like the same point you passed before. But when you look closer, you are a little higher up. You are holding a little more light. The repetition is merely the universe presenting the lesson again at a higher frequency, demanding a more evolved, more conscious answer this time. The lessons we keep repeating are the threads of the soul contract left undone. They are the points of friction, the karmic energy that must be balanced, not for punishment, but for completion. The soul desires only to move forward, to expand its experience, and it will patiently, lovingly present the necessary challenge until the fundamental insight is integrated into the core of your being. So as we begin this journey, let us agree to stop seeing these repeating patterns as curses. See them instead as sacred invitations. Invitations from your own higher consciousness to pause, to look deeply, and to finally claim the wisdom that is waiting just beneath the surface of the recurring drama. You have already chosen the solution. You simply need to remember it. There is a moment in the QHHT, Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique sessions, where the SC reveals the exact moment a soul, still in the non-physical realm, is reviewing its upcoming life. It sees the challenges, the heartbreaks, the specific people who will cause the deepest pain. The soul approves it all. It sees those repeating lessons as the perfect tools for maximum growth. It is a choice made from a place of infinite wisdom, not human short-sightedness. The repeated lesson, then, is a gift of precision. Your soul is so focused on mastering this one specific energetic frequency that it has ensured you cannot miss the training. You are here to graduate from this specific curriculum. Think now of your most persistent repeating lesson. Is it the need to establish boundaries, the struggle with self-worth, the tendency to attract a certain kind of relationship? The SC tells us these are all facets of the same core energetic imbalance. You are being asked to shift the internal frequency, not just change the external world. The external world is only a mirror. Stay with us, because the key to stopping this cycle, the one thing most people miss, is not about doing anything new, but about remembering everything old. Welcome to Awakening Archives. We are here to gently lift the veil on the forgotten wisdom, to decode the spiritual blueprints left behind those who touched the edge of consciousness. The likes of Dolores Cannon, who transcribed the very words of the soul. This space is dedicated to illumination, not instruction. We do not teach you what you do not know. We simply guide you back to the sanctuary of what you have always known. We are stepping together into the hidden corridors of time, accessing the records of your eternal self. If you feel the resonance, if the threads of your own soul are tingling with recognition, then you are a volunteer for this awakening. Hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. Let us ensure that no cosmic truth is ever missed as you move along your spiral. The Earth, as described repeatedly by Dolores Cannon's subjects, is an intensive, accelerated schoolroom. It is not a place for simple enjoyment, though joy is a welcome byproduct of learning. It is a dense, third-dimensional plane designed specifically to amplify experience, to make consequence immediate, and to force the soul to encounter and integrate the spectrum of duality, light and dark, love and fear. In the non-physical realm, understanding is intellectual. But here, in this physical body, understanding must become experiential. The soul must feel what it is like to be powerless before it can truly claim its power. It must feel the heartbreak before it can understand unconditional love. The lessons we repeat are the foundational physics of this schoolroom. They are the algebraic equations your soul must solve before it can move on to the calculus of creation. The SC is clear. A soul may come back to Earth thousands of times, and some spend many lives simply repeating the same pattern until the lesson is finally and absolutely internalized. This is not failure. It is simply the endurance of evolution. The pattern repeats not because you are bad, but because the soul loves you enough to keep presenting the optimal opportunity for your greatest growth. Let us look deeper into what the subconscious mind, the SC, revealed to Dolores Cannon about this Earth School blueprint. The consensus from thousands of regressions documented across works like Between Death and Life and The Convoluted Universe is that this planet offers something uniquely valuable: density and forgetfulness. Density is the heavy, slow energy of the third dimension. It is the friction that makes lessons stick. When you make a choice here, the consequence is not instantaneous, as it might be in higher dimensions. It is delayed, layered, and often messy. This delay is part of the curriculum. It forces the soul to cultivate patience, resilience, and the capacity for long-term karmic vision. The repeating patterns are not quick fixes. They are long-form narratives designed to test the depth of your integration over time. Then there is forgetfulness, which the SC describes as the veil or amnesia that descends upon incarnation. This is perhaps the most difficult aspect for the human self, yet it is utterly crucial to the soul's growth. If we remembered every past life, every contract, every mistake, the lessons of this life would lose their purity. There would be no true free will, only the execution of a memory. The forgetfulness ensures that when you choose forgiveness over anger or self-love over self-sabotage, it is a choice made from the heart, a genuine energetic shift, and not merely following a forgotten script. The repeating lesson is the gentle nudge that pierces the veil, a fragment of memory bubbling up into the conscious mind, saying, "You have seen this stage before. Now choose the new ending." The SC explains that souls often cluster around specific themes of learning. Some souls dedicate entire cycles, hundreds of lives, to understanding the complexity of power and control. They may spend one life as a powerful ruler, another as a subjugated peasant, and a third as an observer, simply watching the dance of power dynamics. If a repeating pattern in your current life involves attracting controlling figures, it is a sign that this core curriculum, mastery over personal power without abusing it, is still active on your soul's transcript. The repetition is the SC's way of ensuring you experience every facet of the diamond until you understand how to hold your power in perfect balance. Consider also the nature of karma, as it was decoded in the QHHT sessions. Karma in this context is not divine punishment. It is simply unprocessed energy, the imbalance created when an action is taken without a corresponding completion of emotional wisdom. If a life ends with bitterness or unresolved conflict, the soul, in its infinite wisdom, immediately begins designing the next incarnation to present a scenario where that exact energy can be met and transmuted into compassion. The repeating challenge is the soul's mechanism for settling its own accounts, for cleaning its own energetic ledger. It is a promise the soul made to itself to achieve wholeness. When we observe these repeating life challenges, the endless spirals of financial lack, the continuous cycle of toxic relationships, the chronic health issues linked to buried emotions, we are truly looking at the physical manifestation of an energetic anchor. This anchor is tied to the past, vibrating at an old frequency. The trauma, the fear, the lack of self-worth, these emotions create a specific energetic signature. The external world, being a perfect quantum mirror, simply brings forth people and events that match that signature. The loop continues because the internal frequency has not changed. Dolores Cannon's work, particularly her deep dives into the transition between lives in Between Death and Life, emphasizes that before a soul commits to an incarnation, it is shown its entire life plan, including the points of friction, the repeating lessons. The soul, viewing it from a perspective of unconditional love and expansive wisdom, selects the most challenging path because it guarantees the greatest growth. The profound suffering we feel in the moment of repetition is the human perspective. The soul's perspective is one of immense gratitude for the opportunity to finally transcend the pattern. Therefore, the function of the repeating lesson is singular and sacred, to force conscious awareness into the unconscious reaction. The pattern will always continue until the soul remembers that it has choice, until you stop responding with the habitual, fearful reaction of the past life and instead choose the conscious, loving response of the awakened being. The Earth School is waiting for you to simply declare from your deepest center that the lesson is complete. And when you do, the universe, having witnessed your energetic mastery, instantly shifts your reality. The endurance of evolution is about shifting from human survival mode to soul mastery mode. The repeating lessons are not chains. They are the perfect steps on a staircase designed by your own higher self. The key mechanism behind repetition is the unfinished soul contract, a concept explored deeply in the QHHTT transcripts. A contract is not a rigid, punitive agreement. It is an energetic commitment made between souls or between the soul and itself to master a certain aspect of being. For example, two souls may agree before incarnation. I will play the role of the betrayer so you can learn the absolute necessity of self-reliance and forgiveness. In the heat of the human life, we forget this cosmic choreography. We only see the betrayal, the pain, the injustice. And if we react from a place of fear, victimhood, and unforgiveness, we have failed to master the lesson. According to the SC archives, the energy of that specific unlearned lesson remains like a beacon. The soul is magnetized to recreate the scenario, not with the exact same people, but with people who carry the same energetic signature. If the lesson is self-worth, the soul will repeatedly attract situations or people who diminish it until the core tenet of self-value is so solidified within that the external trigger can no longer resonate. The pattern is the teacher. The person is merely the actor hired for the scene. Visualize your soul as a magnificent ancient clock. The repeating lesson is a single internal gear that is slightly misaligned. Every time the clock tries to move past a certain hour, it clicks and resets. You must stop pushing the hands forward and simply adjust the internal gear of your perception and reaction. The lesson stops repeating the moment your reaction shifts from the old, unconscious, fearful pattern to a new, conscious, empowered one. Let us delve into the architecture of these contracts as revealed by the SC. These are not contracts written on paper. They are vibrational agreements established in the interdimensional waiting room, the place between lives, described in Between Death and Life. The SC often uses the metaphor of a dramatic stage play. Before the curtain rises on your current life, your soul is in full collaboration with other key souls, the actors, who will agree to embody the roles of lovers, family members, friends, and antagonists. The most potent, often repeating contracts are those with the antagonists. The SC reveals that these are frequently the dearest soul connections, the ones closest to our own frequency. They agree to take on the difficult, often dark roles, the abuser, the abandonment figure, the betrayer, because they know from the soul's perspective that only an intense, painful trigger can force the deep, necessary energetic shift in your consciousness. The pain they inflict is simply the catalytic pressure needed to crack open the protective shell of the human ego and allow the true light of the soul to pour forth.
If you find yourself repeatedly drawn to relationships that mirror a childhood trauma, perhaps the neglectful parent or the uncommitted partner, this is a perfect example of a soul contract echoing, not to hurt you, but to give you a second, third, or fourth chance to heal the original wound. The contract is less about the person and more about the emotional signature they carry. The goal is to reach a point of neutral forgiveness and sovereign detachment where the trigger is presented, but your internal response is one of total calm, recognizing the cosmic role the other soul played. Dolores Cannon's work repeatedly highlighted that the failure to complete a contract results in a kind of energetic residue. This residue is the unassimilated emotion, the bitterness, the unresolved guilt, the unspent rage that clings to the soul's electromagnetic field. When the soul prepares for its next incarnation, it carries this residue, and the density of Earth acts like a cosmic magnet, drawing in the exact circumstances needed to confront that remaining energy. The repeating lesson, therefore, is the soul attempting to burn off that residue and achieve a state of energetic clarity.
Consider the lesson of poverty consciousness. If a soul has spent many lives experiencing scarcity, or perhaps a life where material abundance led to corruption or spiritual stagnation, that soul may choose a current life where the lesson repeats. The SC shows the soul deliberately setting up recurring financial hardship, not to punish, but to ensure the individual learns the true meaning of abundance, not as external wealth, but as an internal, unwavering state of trust and self-worth. The cycle of lack breaks only when the internal gear shifts from fear of poverty to knowing of sufficiency. The repeating pattern is the environment designed to stress test that internal knowing until it is unbreakable. Furthermore, the repeating lesson serves as a constant reminder that time is an illusion from the text's perspective. The lessons you repeat now are not failures that accumulate over a series of separate lives. They are merely simultaneous facets of one grand, overarching existence. The challenge you face today is simply the present manifestation of an issue your eternal self is working on across all timelines. When you finally master the pattern in this life, you are sending a wave of completion back and forward, instantaneously resolving that energetic commitment across your entire spiral of existence. This is the profound, interwoven nature of soul work revealed in the convoluted universe. The power of recognizing the unfinished contract is that it immediately shifts the perspective from victim to volunteer. Once you identify the pattern, here is the self-sabotage pattern again, seeking resolution. You strip the current external event of its power. You can then address the situation not with fear, but with the curiosity and compassion of the ego asking, what core belief must I now adjust to honor the true intent of this soul contract? This act of conscious recognition is the first, most powerful step in completing the contract and permanently exiting the loop. The repeating pattern is not a lock.
It is a question asked repeatedly and with increasing intensity until you give the answer that aligns with your highest truth.
The soul is extraordinarily compassionate. It never throws you into a repeating cycle without first giving you subtle, powerful warnings. We must simply learn to read the signs given by the higher self. Sign 1. The familiar emotional signature. This is the most potent clue. When you meet a new person or enter a new situation, pay attention to the exact feeling that arises in your gut or your solar plexus. Is it a strange mix of excitement and deep, inexplicable dread? Is it the precise flavor of emotional suffocation you felt in a past relationship? If you recognize the energy of the past, you are standing at the threshold of a repeating loop. The conscious mind often ignores this for the thrill of the new, but the soul is whispering, "I remember this test." Sign 2. The rush of judgment. When the repeating scenario begins to unfold, your first unconscious human reaction will be to quickly judge the external actor. They are toxic. This job is evil. I am being wronged. This immediate rush of external blame is the soul's last attempt to avoid the internal work. The repeated lesson always demands self-reflection. If the cycle is repeating, it is always pointing inward, asking, what within me is attracting and allowing this pattern to play out again? Sign 3. The dream flash or déjà vu. This is the most direct and least subtle sign. The SC often bypasses the busy conscious mind through the dream state or through sudden jarring moments of déjà vu. Dolores Cannon subjects often recall dreams right before a major life event where the entire scenario played out, sometimes featuring the very person they had not yet met. If you feel a profound familiarity washes over you, stop. Do not move. Ask yourself, what is the lesson I have already experienced here, and how must I respond differently this time? The communication is relentless, yet it is often delivered in the silent language of frequency, not in the loud clamor of human thought. We must train ourselves to become energetic listeners to catch these subtle frequencies. The concept of the familiar emotional signature goes beyond a simple gut feeling. Dolores Cannon's work revealed that deep traumas from past lives, the betrayal, the abandonment, the intense grief, are not simply intellectual memories. They are energetic implants lodged within the body's cellular memory. When the soul sets up a repeating lesson in this life, it attracts people whose specific energetic signature vibrates at the exact same frequency as that ancient, unhealed implant. You don't just feel dread, you feel the echo of the original trauma, a somatic recall of the moment the wound was first inflicted, perhaps centuries ago. Recognizing this precise flavor of pain is the soul's primary warning system. It is the wisdom archive flashing red, old energy incoming.
Furthermore, if a repeating lesson is about suppressing one's voice due to a past life where speaking the truth led to physical harm, the repeating sign might manifest as a chronic physical issue in the throat, neck, or jaw whenever a situation demands you speak up. Similarly, issues in the stomach or solar plexus frequently signal lessons around personal power and control. These physical symptoms are not random illnesses. They are coded warnings telling the conscious mind exactly where the stored, unreleased emotional energy resides. The body is always speaking the truth of the soul's unfinished curriculum. Let us explore a fourth, often overlooked sign. Sign 4, the sudden, unreasonable pull. In the cosmic choreography of soul contracts, you will often meet the key actors in your repeating lesson with an inexplicable, overwhelming force. This is detailed in many of the QHHT sessions concerning relationship karma. It can be a sudden, intense attraction, the kind that feels like destiny, but quickly leads to emotional chaos, or conversely, an immediate, unreasoning dislike or mistrust of a person you have just met. This magnetic force is there because it knows the mundane, rational mind would otherwise avoid the connection necessary for the lesson. This magnetic force is the soul's recognition overriding the ego's caution. If you meet someone who instantly feels like your entire world or instantly raises every hair on the back of your neck, stop and observe. You are likely face to face with a soul actor from a repeating, unfinished contract. The purpose of these signs is to grant the human consciousness a window of sovereignty. The moment you recognize the sign, you are no longer operating from the amnesia of the veil. You are suddenly given the choice to respond from the higher, all-knowing perspective. The repetition is locked in place as long as you react unconsciously. The moment of conscious recognition, I see the familiar dread, I recognize the pattern of abandonment, is the moment you receive the cosmic permission to choose a different path. Failure to heed these signs often leads to the lesson being delivered with increased intensity in the next cycle. If a gentle hint of financial difficulty is ignored, the next cycle might bring about devastating loss. If the subtle emotional dread is overlooked in the first relationship, the next repeating relationship will ensure the heartbreak is deeper, forcing the conscious mind to finally pay attention and ask the necessary internal questions. This escalation is not punishment. It is the compassionate insistence of the soul that must finally grow beyond the outdated energetic prison. Therefore, the practice of energetic listening is the master key to unlocking the repeating loops. It requires you to move out of the perpetual chatter of the human ego and into the quiet, observant space of the higher self. When the sign appears, be it the physical discomfort, the rush of judgment, or the sudden magnetic pull, retreat instantly. Do not act on the impulse. Ask the 3 guiding questions of the archivist. 1. What past emotional frequency am I being asked to recognize right now? 2. What internal truth, self-worth, self-trust, forgiveness must I embody that I failed to embody before? 3. If I respond with peace and sovereignty, what does the completion of this contract look like? By integrating these signs into your awareness, you transform from a participant in the repeated drama into the conscious curator of your soul's curriculum. You are no longer reacting to the pattern, you are actively dismantling it. This is the accelerated path to the new earth frequency, and the SC, your ever-present guide, reminding you of the scripts you wrote before the veil descended.
The SC describes the past, particularly the past lives that hold the key to our current patterns, not as a vanished timeline, but as a coexisting energetic reality. The repeated lesson is simply a wave of old energy spilling over from that coexisting timeline into your present moment, seeking resolution. The reason the SC insists on the power of now is because only the present moment exists outside the karmic loops of the third dimension. The past is the realm of cause and effect. The present is the realm of transmutation and creation. The core of reality is revealed to be malleable. When you anchor fully in the now, you momentarily step out of the dense third-dimensional timeline and into the freedom of the zero-point field, a state of pure potentiality. In that field, the magnetic pull of the old, unfinished contracts collapses. Think of the SC as the ultimate quantum alchemist. It uses the present moment to blend the old, dense energy of the repeating challenge with the pure, high-frequency energy of unconditional love, which is the soul's natural state. The result of this blend is a transmuted experience. The challenge is faced, but the habitual negative reaction is bypassed, and the energy is processed peacefully. This process is accelerated exponentially for the 3 waves of volunteers and other advanced souls, whose contracts are often about learning to execute complex energetic transmutation quickly in service to the planet's shift. What the SC asks of the awakened soul is to cultivate a state of active non-reaction. When the familiar emotional signature of the repeating loop appears, the shame, the anger, the fear, the human tendency is to react with the programmed defense mechanism learnt from that old contract. The SC guides us to use the recognition of the sign as the cue to initiate active non-reaction. This is not suppression. It is the conscious refusal to meet the old frequency with a matching frequency. It is the sovereign choice to hold a space of absolute peace and internal stillness, allowing the wave of old energy to pass through without taking root in your emotional body. This is the true mastery of the repeating lesson. The goal is not to change the external scenario. That is a 3D struggle. The goal is to change the internal resonance. Once you can observe the repeating scenario, the betrayer, the moment of lack, the criticism, the external reality has no choice but to shift. It can no longer sustain the pattern because its anchor, your reactive energy, has been withdrawn. The journey toward the new earth is fundamentally a mass exercise in breaking these repeating third-dimensional karmic loops. Information received by Dolores Cannon regarding the shift, The great separation between the two earths highlights that the distinction lies precisely in this ability to move out of reactive patterns. Those who continue to feed the repeating loops of fear, judgment, and victimization remain anchored to the old 3D frequency. Those who consciously recognize and transmute the energy of their unfinished contracts are aligning their personal vibration with the higher, lighter frequency of the new earth. The three-step energetic formula we are about to reveal is the practical application of the power of now. It is the instruction manual revealed through deep trance states for instantly stepping off the wheel of karma. It is a technique for achieving the necessary vibrational sovereignty that defines the awakened being. This knowledge is ancient, sacred, and entirely within your grasp. It is the moment where the wisdom of the ancients meets the quantum reality of the awakened soul. Prepare to receive the final keys to unlock the archives of your freedom. The journey from human reactivity to soul mastery is swift when guided by conscious intent. This shift of focus from the chaos of the external drama to the absolute stillness within is the graduation requirement of the Earth School. You have seen the signs. You know the loop is built for your growth. But how do you actually stop it? How do you exit the repetitive spiral and step on to the new Earth frequency of effortless evolution? The final, most profound revelation from the deepest archives of time, a truth confirmed through deep hypnotic sessions, particularly those exploring the concepts of the convoluted universe, is that the repeating lesson is designed to teach you not just forgiveness or self-worth or boundaries, but to teach you to harness the power of now. The loop stops when you anchor your awareness so completely in the present moment that the magnetic pull of the past energetic pattern simply cannot find an anchor point within you. Soon, we will dive into the three-step energetic formula that allows you to transmute the energy of the past and step off the wheel of recurring karma, claiming the sovereignty your soul designed for you. This is the moment where the wisdom of the ancients meets the quantum reality of the awakened soul.
The repetition ends not through conflict, but through transmutation. The SC revealed that when a lesson repeats, the human mind tends to respond with a heightened version of the original unhelpful reaction. Forgiveness turns into rage. Speaking up turns into silence. The loop tightens. But the key to breaking it is a precise three-step energetic response. This is the final, essential knowledge you must remember. The 3 steps to energetic transmutation. Step 1. Radical detachment, the observer. When you recognize the familiar emotional signature, the sign that the loop is beginning, your immediate action must be to create space between the event and your emotional body. The human mind seeks to relive the past pain, but the soul asks you to simply observe it. Dolores Cannon's work repeatedly emphasized the role of the observer consciousness. You are not the body that is feeling the pain. You are the eternal being, the SC, watching the body experience a memory.
Radically detach by stating inwardly, I see this pattern. I recognize this lesson. I choose not to enter the emotional drama this time. Do not try to solve it, fix it, or fight it. Simply step back and become the neutral, all-knowing archivist. Step 2. The internal shift, the refusal to resonate. The repeating lesson is simply energy seeking to be processed. If you meet that energy with the old, familiar energetic pattern, fear, defensiveness, neediness, you feed the cycle. The SC reveals that the only way to stop the magnetic attraction of the past is to refuse to resonate with its frequency. When the old pattern appears, you must consciously introduce a new, high-frequency energy into the situation. If the lesson is about self-worth and someone attempts to diminish you, do not react defensively or withdraw. Instead, anchor deeply in the absolute, unquestionable knowing of your own sovereign value. This isn't an external fight. It's an internal, energetic declaration. You transmute the energy of the insult by radiating the opposite frequency, unconditional self-acceptance. The loop breaks because the external pattern can no longer find the matching vibration within you to sustain itself. Step 3. The conscious completion, the soul's sign-off. Once you have detached and held the new energetic frequency, the SC requires a conscious completion of the contract. This is the moment you formally declare, both inwardly and outwardly if necessary, that the lesson is learned. This conscious acknowledgement is critical. It is the action of the awakened soul filing the paperwork. The non-physical realms operate on intent and frequency. When you declare the lesson finished from a place of genuine integration and peace, not anger or fatigue, the SC recognizes the energetic shift. The repeating lesson is archived, and the door to the next stage of your evolution swings open. Expansion of the new earth. This mastery of repeating lessons is not just about personal peace. It is the engine driving the creation of the new earth, a concept central to Dolores Cannon's later works, particularly the 3 waves of volunteers. The new earth is a higher dimensional frequency where the dense, repeating loops of 3D karmic debt simply cannot exist. The 3 waves of volunteers are souls who came specifically to this planet to help anchor the higher frequency of unconditional love and non-reaction. They are often the ones who find the repetition most painful, precisely because their deeper contracts were about accelerating their own growth to serve as catalysts for the planet. Their rapid evolution, the mastery of their repeating loops, is what generates the collective energy required to shift humanity's consciousness. If you feel this resonance, if you feel the urgent need to break free from these cycles, it is because your soul is pulling you toward this new frequency. The repetitions are becoming too painful for you to ignore because you are ready for a reality where the primary lesson is no longer survival or pain, but co-creation and joy. Conclusion of climax. Your soul doesn't choose this life for easy comfort. It chooses the exact time, the exact family, and the exact repeating lessons needed for your most powerful, most accelerated awakening. You are not a victim of repetition. You are a cosmic master, selecting the perfect crucible for your light. Recognize the loop. Refuse to resonate with its old frequency and declare your lesson learned. In that moment, the spiral of your life transcends the past and launches into the next dimension of existence. The journey of awakening is a shared one. We are all holding fragments of the same ancient truth. I want you to pause now and reflect on the most persistent, repeating lesson in your life. Was it a specific kind of relationship, a recurring financial struggle, an inability to trust? Tell me in the comments below, what is the lesson your soul keeps presenting to you, and which of the 3 energetic steps, radical detachment, internal shift, or conscious completion, do you feel called to apply first? I read every single message. Your shared experience serves as an archive for others who are walking the same path, helping to illuminate the way forward. By naming the pattern, you begin the process of unhooking from its grip. This information, this profound wisdom decoded from the thousands of sessions documented by Dolores Cannon, is meant to be a catalyst. But a catalyst only works when it is applied. Take this knowledge and use it as a mirror, not a weapon. Do not judge your past self for the repetitions. Instead, honor the enduring patience of your soul. If you found that this remembrance resonated deeply within your own knowing, and if you are ready to continue stepping through the corridors of time and memory with us, I invite you to join our community. Subscribe to Awakening Archives and hit the notification bell. We unlock new cosmic truths every week, guiding the volunteers of the new earth toward their full potential. Let your curiosity lead the way. In the spirit of collective consciousness, sharing this message is an act of service. If there is someone in your life who feels trapped in an endless loop, someone who needs to remember that they are the master of their own curriculum, share this video with them. When we awaken ourselves, we awaken the world. We raise the collective frequency, one intentional choice at a time. This is the subtle, powerful work of the soul volunteers. Your journey is sacred. Your lessons are precisely tailored. Never doubt the perfect timing of your life's unfolding. The repeated challenge is simply proof that you are on the very edge of massive permanent transmutation. You are capable of this shift.
As we close this segment of the archives,
hold on to this central truth gifted to us through the work of Dolores Cannon. You are an eternal being who chose every step of this journey. The past is only a suggestion. The future is an unwritten canvas of pure potential. The only power that is real is the one you hold now, in this moment of conscious choice. Go into your day with the quiet confidence of the SC. Recognize the patterns, greet them with radical peace, and refuse to participate in the old dramas. You have already filed the completion notice. Stay aware, stay awakened, and remember, the archives of time reside within you. Until our next remembrance.